And frankly, I think they have more love for their family's life than they do for their own life, okay? But they still want to live. So here's Obama gives an exact date. He gives an exact date. So they pull back. And everyone says, oh, we're doing so well. Look, we're doing so well. The enemy, why should they fight when they know in 18 months they can go in and take the place? So what happens? So we have ISIS taking a lot of oil. I said, take the oil. Remember when we left? I was opposed to going in because I said you're going to destabilize the Middle East. Because you had Iraq and you had Iran. And I said, they fight. And they're always fighting. For decades and decades. For generations. They fight. That's what they do. How we ever got involved in this mess is hard to believe. They fight. And they were equal, militarily. They go this way, 10 feet. They go this way, 10 feet. Then they rest. A couple of years. Then they start fighting again. Then Saddam Hussein throws a little gas. Everyone goes crazy. Always using gas. They go back, forth. It's the same. And they were stabilized. And I said, if you go after one or the other, in this case Iraq, you're going to destabilize the Middle East. That's what's going to happen. You're going to destabilize the Middle East. And that's exactly what happened. We totally destabilized the Middle East. We have now migrations, largely because of what's happened afterwards. You know, Iraq was horrible. It was stupid to go in. We should have never gone in. But we shouldn't have gone out the way we went out. And we shouldn't have given dates. I mean, I would have probably said, we're going to stay forever. And they would have said, oh, man. And then keep going, keep going. Eventually, they would get tired. They said, this guy's crazy. I mean, he's never going to leave. And you'll make a deal. But when you announce you're leaving in 18 months or whatever the hell he said, they just pulled back. And then as soon as we left, they come in. Okay? So they have the oil. You know who the biggest beneficiary of the oil is, right? China. China. Always China. I love China. I love Mexico. Their leaders are too smart for us. We have no border. We will build a wall. Mexico will pay for the wall, by the way. We're building a wall. We're going to have a border. And people are going to come into our country, but they're going to come in through a legal process. They're not coming in the way they're coming in now, just walking in like nothing. They're going to come in, but they're going to come through a legal process. So with Iraq, so we give them a date, and they take over. We didn't take the oil. So for 4 years, I've been talking about it. Then because of Paris, all of a sudden, they start bombing the oil. But I didn't want to just bomb the oil. I wanted to take the oil. They're bombing. You know, we're bombing. Great. What's going to happen after that? So we're bombing. And you know, we're not really bombing it because they're still selling it. I say, how can they keep selling? Obama doesn't want to hit them too hard because he's afraid he's going to pollute the atmosphere. No, this is serious. Now think of it. He talks about the carbon footprint. And yet he'll fly a very old Air Force One, an old Boeing 747 with the old engines and, you know, spewing stuff. So he's got a problem with the carbon footprint. You can't use hairspray because hairspray is going to affect the ozone. I'm trying to figure out. Let's see, I'm in my room in New York City and I want to put a little spray so that I can, right? But I hear where they don't want me to use hairspray. They want me to use the pump because the other one, which I really like better than going bing, 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 and then it comes out in big globs, right? And you're stuck in your hair and you say, oh my God, I got to take a shower again. My hair's all screwed up, right? I want to use hairspray. They say, don't use hairspray. It's bad for the ozone. So I'm sitting in this concealed apartment, this concealed unit. You know, I really do live in a very nice apartment, right? But it's sealed. It's beautiful. I don't think anything gets out. And I'm not supposed to be using hairspray. But think of it. So Obama's always talking about the global warming. That global warming is our biggest and most dangerous problem, okay? No, think of it. I mean, even if you're a believer in global warming, ISIS is a big problem. Russia's a problem. China's a problem. We got a lot of problems. By the way, the maniac in North Korea is a problem. He actually has nuclear weapons, right? That's a problem. We got a lot of problems. We got a lot of problems. That's right. We don't win anymore. He said, we want to win. We don't win anymore. We're going to win a lot. If I get elected, we're going to win a lot. We're going to win so much. We're going to win a lot. We're going to win a lot. We're going to win so much, you're all going to get sick and tired of winning. You're going to say, oh, no, not again. I'm only kidding. You never get tired of winning, right? Never. But think of it. So Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that. A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay? It's a hoax, a lot of it. Look, I want clean air and I want clean water. That's my global. I want clean crystal water. And I want clean air. And we can do that. But we don't have to destroy our businesses. We don't have to destroy our... And by the way, China isn't abiding by anything. They're buying all of our coal. We can't use coal anymore, essentially. They're buying our coal and they're using it. Now, when you talk about the planet, it's so big out there. We're here, they're there. It's like they're our next door neighbor, right? In terms of the universe. Miss Universe, by the way, made a great deal when I sold it. Oh, did I get rich? That was a great deal. Oh. You know, they broke my choppers on that. They said, he talks about illegal immigration. We're not going to put him on television. First of all, the Univision's being sued like crazy. You wouldn't believe it. And NBC, I made a great deal with them, just like an amazing deal. Far more than I would have ever gotten. I mean, I made an unbelievable deal. Far more than I ever would have gotten if I said, I think I'm going to sell it if times were normal, right? Isn't it amazing the way that stuff can work out? But I love Miss Universe, and I love the universe. But think of it. So China is spewing up all this stuff, and we're holding back. And with China, you know, we signed these agreements where we have to do it now. They have to do it within 30 or 35 years. I don't think they're going to be doing it. It's like Japan. If somebody attacks Japan, we have to immediately go and start World War III. Okay? If we get attacked, Japan doesn't have to help us. Somehow that doesn't sound so fair. Right? Does that sound good? So South Korea, I order televisions. I order thousands of televisions a year. I order televisions because I have a lot of stuff and I like nice branded. They're all made in South Korea, most other than Sony. And Sony, in all fairness, has lost its way. But a lot of them, Samsung, all of them. I mean, they're all pretty much, all of them, right? I think just about. But I order thousands of televisions. They're all from South Korea. So we have 28,000 people on the border, separating South Korea from this maniac in North Korea. We get nothing. What do we get? Nothing. Why? They're making a fortune. It's an economic behemoth. A lot of you don't know, we protect Germany. Germany. Mercedes-Benz. How many people have a Mercedes-Benz? We protect Germany. It's an economic behemoth. We protect Saudi Arabia. They were, during the good oil days, now it's probably half, which is fine. But during the good oil, they were making $1 billion, listen to this, $1 billion a day. And we protect them. Our military, they pay us peanuts, like nothing. And then if we want to move to another location, well, that's very expensive if we do that. We want to charge us rent. I mean, look, we are run by people that are so bad. They're so out of their league. And I see it. I see it on the stage. You know, a lot of them are nice people. You know, a lot of people think I don't like these people. I do like them. But they don't have business sense. They don't have business ability. They don't have common sense. They're politicians. They're all talk. They're no action. When I say... Folks, when I say we're going to build a wall, most of them say, you can't build a wall. Well, build a wall. In China, 2,000 years ago, they built the Great Wall of China, which is bigger than any wall we're thinking about, okay? The Great Wall of China goes 18,000 miles. We have 2,000 miles, of which we really only need 1,000 miles, because you have a lot of natural barriers, right, that are extremely tough to get across. We have 1,000 miles. So China has 18,000 or 13,000 miles, and we have 1,000 miles. We have modern cranes. We have Caterpillar tractors. I want to use Caterpillar. I don't want to use Komatsu. Made in America. Even my hats, they're made in America. It wasn't easy to find a guy who could do those hats. You know what I'm talking about. I see so many knockoffs of my hat, right? Make America Great Again. I see these things, they're out of plastic, they're out of all sorts of crap. Mine are made in America, and honestly, they do a great job, but they don't produce as many as I'd like because, frankly, there's a big, I mean, it's amazing. Those hats are amazing. But I wanted to have it made. And you know why I wanted it? I wanted it anyway, but I also knew that as soon as the hats came out, and other things, we have a website, as soon as the hats came out, I knew the press would be calling, and it's true. First hour when the hats were announced, I get a call from the New York Times. Mr. Trump, where are those hats made? I said, America! I knew it. I knew it. Because, as you know, if I would have said China, I would have been in big, big trouble. But they're being knocked off all over the world. I mean, I see hats, they're like helmets. I see them all. But what are you going to do? But here's the story. We got to build a wall. So when I talk And when I'm up on the stage with these guys, these people, wonderful people, and a very nice woman, Carly. She's a nice woman. When I'm up on the stage with them, they think I'm crazy when I say Mexico. Because I always say, we're going to build a wall. It's going to be a great wall. It's going to be a real wall. See this ceiling? This ceiling is peanuts compared to the height of the wall I'm talking about. I'm talking about if they ever get up there, they're not coming down because it's too dangerous. All right? You ever see what they do now that we have these little walls? They build ramps. They build a ramp. I say, wouldn't it be cheaper just to knock the wall down and then they drive over it with Jeeps loaded up with drugs? Do you see this? They build ramps. There was a picture in Time magazine. It's a ramp, a little ramp that goes over the wall and down. So they have a Jeep, over, down, boom, make money. We get the drugs. Think of it. We build a wall is right. You got to build a wall. We get the drugs. They get the cash. Not so good, right? We don't like that deal. Our politicians don't know. They don't know. So when I say Mexico's going to pay for it, these guys are on the stage with me. They're not business people. They don't understand. Mexico makes a fortune off the United States. Number one, we give them a lot of money. But in addition to that, they're taking our businesses. They're making, if you talk about a trade deficit, I'll tell you what, Mexico, in a certain way, is, in a mini version, the new China. Mexico is making an absolute fortune. Peanuts compared to the cost of the wall. Let's say the cost of the wall is $10 billion. That's a good, I can do a great job at 10. I think we'll have a lot of money left over. Somebody else would have, and by the way, 20 years ago, they wanted to build a wall. People that are opposed to it now, they wanted to stop and they wanted to build a wall. You know one of the reasons they didn't build the wall? Because of the Environmental Protection Agency. They couldn't get an environmental impact study approved. Can you believe it? Because there was a toad or a turtle or a snake or something was in the way. Now think of it. In China, in the South China Sea, there were these low-level land masses that were covered by water, but pretty close to the top. China sends in massive excavators, and they're going, boah, they're building military fortresses in the South China Sea. And a friend of mine who's one of the biggest and richest people in China, he's a great guy. They're great people. They're fine. They're just too smart. I mean, the leaders are too smart for our people. They won't be too smart. When I put my people there, it won't be different. When they call up, we'd like to speak to the donor that is negotiating it. No, the donor now is Carl Icahn. You're going to speak to Carl Icahn. You know Carl, great businessman. You have so many people, they call, all these business people call. So a friend of mine, so I call him, I say, you're actually doing that. And then jokingly, I said, how long did it take to get started? Did you have to get an environmental impact study approved in order to excavate? He looked at me because I hope you're kidding when you say that. They conceived of the idea. They started digging 4 hours later. Okay? There's no, go through 25 years of environmental impact. You're going to hurt the snail. You're going to hurt this. They're doing a big thing. They excavated massive, take a look, massive, the biggest excavator. They're ripping the hell out of that ocean. They're ripping it, and they're taking that dirt, and they're putting it, and they're building airfields, and they're building forts. We couldn't do it because, just like I said for the wall, legitimately, they couldn't get an environmental impact statement. Now, that's probably not the only reason it didn't happen. I heard their costs were too high. With me, that's easy. I'm doing the old post office in Washington. I'm under budget. I'm ahead of schedule. Hey, look at the campaign. Guy's at 59 million, and he's down at the bottom. I'm nothing, and I'm at the top. It's the same thing. I actually said, it's funny, the other day I got this great review. They said, Trump is a great speaker. The crowd is spellbound. But he has one problem. And I'm reading, I want to see. The problem is, he speaks through the applause. In other words, like I say that, you applaud, I start talking before you finish your applause. And you know why? Because I'm so excited, because we have so much potential. It's true. I don't want to wait for your frickin' applause. We have so much potential. There's so many things to do. I don't really sort of want to wait. I want to do it. And I just noticed, I did it again. You were getting ready to give a big applause because you like that. And I'm speaking. I kill the applause. But he's right. But except I'm not a speaker. What I am is a doer. I get things done. So when the people up on the stage with me. And Hillary. Hillary doesn't have a clue. By the way, you talk about low energy. She has lower energy than Jeb Bush, which is hard to believe. She does. And I'll tell you, and I've been saying it, and maybe it's rude, maybe it's not, but it doesn't matter. We have a much bigger problem. We have to save our country. So if I'm rude, and if people think I'm rude, I'm actually a nice person. I have a big heart. I want to help people. I want to help the migration. I want to do a safe zone in Syria. I don't want them coming here. We don't know who these people are. They're undocumented. They're undocumented. And we should do a safe zone over there. We should have the Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, and these states are not spending. They got to spend. They got to pay. You know, we're protecting them. They wouldn't be there for 2 minutes if we were not protecting them. They got to start paying. They're not taking anybody, okay? How about Germany taking millions of people? Can you believe what she's doing to that country? And she was the person of the year, and I wasn't. Everybody said Trump was supposed. Hey, what are you going to do? I think she's made a terrible mistake. We'll find out. Time will tell. They're having tremendous crime problems. I think she's made a terrible mistake. But what I like is in Syria, with other people's money, meaning the Gulf states and others, and Germany and others, because look, Germany's paying a fortune to accept all these people. They'll give us the money. We do a massive safe zone. And then eventually, when this whole catastrophe straightens out, which I'll probably be able to get it straightened out, I understand that stuff, but when it's straightened out, they can go back home to their country, you know, to their area. It's interesting. I have thousands of people that work for me, thousands. And I have people that come from far. They're all here legally. Don't worry about it. I use E-Verify and lots. But I have people. Oh, they go and check. These guys go check. They went into the old post office checking. Everybody walked out. Are you here legally? Are you here legally? They said they found one person out of hundreds and hundreds. I don't believe it, okay? I don't believe it. But you know, it's possible somebody said, hey, we do have 11 million people in the country, and it's probably a much higher number than that, okay? It's probably a much higher number. But we have to do something about it, and we're going to do. So I just want to finish by saying this. Look, we have a situation that's out of control. Our country is a dumping ground for the rest of the world. We're laughed at by the rest of the world. And when I started this journey, and it's a journey, and I do love you people. You're amazing people. And by the way, you're so smart. You know, a lot of times they'll say, well, Mr. Trump's people are blue collar. I love blue collar. I'm honored by that. But they're not blue collar. I mean, we have blue collar, and we have executives, and we have young people. They said, the audience is old. It's not older. The audience is young. The other night in Iowa, I told that, and I said, we have so many young people. And the place erupted. They were all young people. We have an amazing thing happening. It's just, look, that's their way of marginalizing, not even me, it's marginalizing you. It's disgusting. I mean, it's disgusting. But when I started this journey, and that's what it is, it's a journey, and it's a movement that's taking place. It's a movement. Remember the old days, silent majority? It's not right. It's a noisy majority. People are angry. It's a noisy majority. These aren't silent people anymore. I go to people you can't even hear. This is an amazing thing that's happened. I received a call from one of the biggest reporters, who happens to be liberal, but that's okay. I mean, we can have a couple of them, right? But a guy who's really respected recently. And he said, how does it feel? I said, how does what feel? He said, what you have done has never been done in the history of politics in the United States. I mean, even CNN said #1 political story of the year is Trump. You know what #2 was? ISIS. ISIS was 2. I'd rather reverse it. Let ISIS be 1, let me be 2, because I want to knock the hell out of them and make me #1 next year. Make me #1 next year. But this reporter, who's a great intellect, actually, and a very smart guy, very good guy, he said, what you've done has never been done before in the history of this country. Newt Gingrich was on a television show the other day. He said, this is one of the great phenomena I've ever seen in politics. Nobody's ever seen it. Because crowds like this, forget it. I mean, it's only confined. If this venue, again, they sent 3,000 people home. Can you believe it? More than 3,000. It's unbelievable what's happening. It's beautiful what's happening. It's beautiful what's happening. But Newt Gingrich said he's never seen anything like this. But he said to me, the reporter, he said, never been done before. I said, well, you know, it's fine, but if I don't win, it's just a waste of time. He goes, no, no, no. What you've done is incredible. He said, even if you don't win, what you've done is incredible. You've totally changed the landscape of politics. No, don't applaud. Don't applaud. Don't applaud. He said, you've totally changed the landscape of politics. It's forever going to be different. Your campaign, there's never been anything like it. Okay, and he was all very nice. I said, you don't understand. You don't understand. If I don't win, I will consider this, and I mean this, a total and complete waste of time. I really do. So, because we're not going to do anything. It's wonderful. Oh, good, I had nice crowds. They'll write about me every once in a while. Every 2 years I'll have a story. Trump ran this rather good campaign. If we don't win, to me, and honestly, you should feel the same thing. If we don't win, it's a total waste of time. Because you have somebody else in there, they won't be able to do what I do. They're not going to be able to. And even if you get one of these Republicans in, like I didn't finish the Mexico, so the wall. When I say Mexico's going to pay, they all laugh. They all go, they think it's funny. Honestly, these are people, they think it's funny. They're laughing, you know, lightly, like, oh, that's so funny, ha, ha, ha. They're going to pay for the wall, folks. They're making billions and billions and billions of dollars on deficits that we have with Mexico. The wall is peanuts. They're going to pay for the wall. But I mention it, now they don't laugh because they're starting to agree with me. And then the other day, one of the people said, it was Ted Cruz, who's a nice guy, but he said, we're going to build a wall at the southern border. I said, whoa. And my wife is sitting, where did that come from, right? No, Ted's a good guy. But he said, on one, I think he was on Fox, he was being interviewed, and he said, we're going to build a wall at the southern border. He didn't say Mexico was going to pay. He hasn't gotten that far yet, but believe me, that's going to happen. See, they're all trying to catch up with me. Because when I did this stuff, it was very out there. Now, I'm the one that everybody wants to sort of aspire to. But what happens is, so Ted's up and he's talking, and, you know, routinely, we're going to have the border, we're going to have this, that, and we're going to build a wall. My wife is sitting there. She's, darling, did you hear that? He just said they're going to build a wall. That's the first time I've ever, you know, that's what you say. She hasn't heard that from any other candidate. Okay, so we're going to build a wall. Mexico's going to pay for it. There are so many things we're going to do. But when I started the journey, it was amazing. I came down, took courage. I went down into the lobby of Trump Tower on the escalator with Melania. I have never seen, it looked like the Academy Awards, the press. We have a lot of press here today, all live. Look at all those live cameras. Yeah. So when I came down in the escalator, we came down, and I said, we're going to do things. And I mentioned illegal immigration. You wouldn't even be talking about illegal, it wasn't even on the radar. Nobody was talking about illegal immigration. Is that right? Now it's one of the big subjects. And that's why, and one of the beautiful polls that came out, and I'm so proud of it, CNN just came out with a poll a week ago, 36% for Trump, second is 16, third is 14, then 12, so they're way down. But on the economy, they give me 55%. That's with 16 people at the time. On the budget, I mean, I understand the budget, the economy, I win it hands down. All right. But listen to this. On illegal immigration, I'm almost at 50%. And on ISIS, likewise, almost at 50%. So people want to be protected. They want to feel safe. They need strength. They need toughness. They need smarts. I don't want to be tough. You know, I know a lot of tough guys, but they're not smart. And they're the easiest. You can be tough. You got to be smart. Let's start smart first. You got to be smart, tough. You got to be tough because the world is trying to take advantage of us. So what happens is this. I came out, I did it. I was, that first couple of weeks with illegal immigration and Mexico and all of the stuff. Then Kate was killed in San Francisco, and Jamil was killed in Los Angeles. Jamil Shaw, an unbelievable young man, was killed, just shot right through the head by an illegal immigrant. Kate was shot by a guy came in 5 or 6 times, shot in the back. So many great people. These are two, so many. And then you have the economy and the jobs that are being lost, and people aren't paying taxes and all of this stuff, right? And all of a sudden, people are coming over. And I'd say the wall, and now they're starting to say the wall. We have to be progressive in our thinking. When I say progressive, I mean like smart. I'm not talking progressive like a Bernie Sanders would say. This guy wants to tax you. Think of it. Think of it. This guy wants to raise your taxes to 90%. No, think you'll have to move out of this. I love this area, by the way. I've been here many times. Great golfing area, right? We love it. No more golf, if Bernie said no more golf. No, you won't have any golf anymore. You won't have any money left to beat golf. You'll be paying it in taxes. This guy is a total disaster. And I'm not saying that. I'll tell you what. Hillary said, well, I'd like to run against Trump. Believe me, this poor Chuck Todd, Meet the Press, his show is dying, and he keeps saying, do it, but I never liked it. He never treated me fairly. So I do a show. He gets the highest ratings he's had in years. He went from believe me, I won't even give you the numbers. They were massive, the numbers, right? I saved his life. And then he goes, Hillary Clinton said that she would most like to run against Donald Trump. And yes, and they're looking forward to it. Trust me, the last person, she's already gotten a dose last night. Do you agree? She had a tough night. She had a tough night looking at the beauty pageant, okay? So Hillary Clinton said, and here's Chuck Todd, and he's a nice guy. I'm not trying to knock him. Please don't be insulted, Chuck. But she says she doesn't like him. But he doesn't treat me right. So he goes, the Clinton campaign said they'd most like to run against Trump, like I'm some kind of a sap. So I call him, I say, Chuck, let me explain something. When they say they want to run against me, that means they don't want to run against me. Do you understand that? Do you understand? It's reverse psychology. They say they want to run against me. First of all, I'm winning and tied in the polls now, and I haven't even hit her yet. But look at what happened to all the guys I hit. They're gonzo. They're gone. Or they're failing badly, okay? And they'll be gone soon. But Hillary Clinton, think of it. I say, so Chuck, report it properly. Trust me, they don't want to run against Trump. The last thing she wants in her whole life is, I did this in 15 minutes, what happened to them. Because the husband wants to come, and she wants to accuse me of things, and the husband's one of the great abusers of the world? Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. So the last person she wants to run against me. Now, here's the story. Look, here's the story. It's very simple. So I announced, and I was talking about trade. I was talking about the wall. I was talking about the borders. I was talking about Obamacare. I was talking about Second Amendment will be saved, by the way. Second Amendment. It will be saved. The Second Amendment is going to be with us. So if I'm president, they're doing everything. They want to get rid of the bullets now. They're doing everything they can. Think of Paris. Think of Los Angeles. Think if you had some guns in Paris on the good side, right? They had no guns. Paris is the toughest gun laws in the world, folks. And France, you get caught with a gun. The only one that has guns are the bad guys. So they go in these various places. They call the guy the mastermind. He's a moron. This guy was a moron. I call him the guy with the dirty hat, right? They got him so good. By the way, the French police did a great job, and our Los Angeles police did a phenomenal job. They did a great job. But wouldn't it be wonderful if, let's see, this guy right here in front of me, he's a tough guy. This guy with the hat, with the lousy head of hair, but he's a strong-looking guy right here. This guy right there, see? And that one. Wouldn't it be nice if they had a gun on their waist? Somebody. Him. So that when they said, you know what they were doing in Paris? Get over here, boom. Get over here, boom. Your turn, get over here, boom. 130 people with more to follow because there are people that are so badly injured right now in hospitals. Other people are going to die. Same thing over there. These are people that gave a party in honor of their marriage. There's something going on, folks, that's wrong. They gave them a party. They worked there. They gave them a party. She came in on a fiancé permit or some nonsense, and she was radicalized. And he was probably radicalized by her, or he was already radicalized. And people knew that they were radicalized. And people in the area knew that they had bombs all over. Who the hell doesn't know? You're the next door neighbor. And they didn't want to talk about it. You got to report these people. We got a real problem. You got to report them. No more nonsense. They didn't report them. And the reason they didn't is because they don't disagree with them so much. Okay, believe me, it's not because they were afraid. You saw the one that wasn't politically correct to report them. They didn't want to report them. Give me a break. So we have to change. So it started off with me where I was going to talk about trade. I was going to talk about all the things. I was going to talk about the military, building it up. I was going to do all of this. But after Paris and California, and there'll be others because they have no fear of us. But after Paris and California, I've totally changed. And my poll numbers went up 10 points. It's amazing. It went up 10 points. I said, why? Do you think it was the debate? Because I did good in the debate. They said, no. People view you as a tough cookie that's not going to take this crap. That's what it is. And now I talk about protection. I talk about, 'cause, trust me, the trade, oh, that's so easy for me. I got the greatest guys in the world. They're going to come in. They're going to do a great job. I'm going to do something myself. I always talk about Ford. They're going to build a plant, $2.5 billion in Mexico. Not going to happen with me. That stuff, those deals are no good. Ford's leaving. They're closing plants all over Michigan to build a plant in Mexico. How the hell does that help us? Okay, who are the people that think this is a good thing for us? And in the meantime, in Michigan and other places, we have plants closing all over the place. And they're spending, think of what, a $2.5 billion. Then they're going to sell cars, trucks, and parts into the United States. No tax, no nothing. I'll say, you're going to have to pay a tax, folks. And you know what? Ford will say, if you have to pay a tax, we're going to stay in the United States. I mean, it's very simple. It's very simple. How about 2 weeks ago, Nabisco announced, the big, Chicago. They announced they're going to leave Chicago with one of their big plants, and they're going to move it to Mexico. What's my statement? We're not eating Oreos anymore, right? No more. But I don't want this. It's not going to happen. They're going to make product and they're going to sell it into the United States. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And by the way, I'm a free trader, I believe. But you got to be smart. I mean, we got to get something. We don't get anything out of anything. We don't get anything. We lose on everything. That Iran deal was a disaster. By the way, think of the Iran deal for 1 second. I always said, and this came to me 2 weeks ago. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. I'm very disappointed with myself. The Iran deal is the worst deal I've ever seen negotiated, okay? I'm wrong. You know what the worst deal is? Iran's a part of that one too. We gave them Iraq. That's even better. Think of it. We gave Iran Iraq. Iran has the biggest, think of it. They're going to have the richest oil. If you go to Iraq, take a look. Among the largest oil reserves in the world. We gave them, by decapitating Iraq and then leaving, because frankly, once we did it, we should have kept 20,000 troops or something. We give Iraq. So not only did they make a great deal in terms of the Iran deal that we know, having to do with nuclear, we also gave them Iraq. We gave them Iraq that they've been after for 100 years. We handed it to them. So now they have the largest oil reserves in the world. That's even better than the original deal. I mean, whoever's representing Iran is doing a hell of a job, okay? If that was the stock, you got to buy some. So we are not going to have deals like that with me. It's not going to happen. We're going to become rich again. We're going to become safe again. And we're going to become strong again. And you're going to remember this moment. This is going to be an important moment for all of us. The one thing I have to say, and I have to ask you to do, go out and vote. It's going to be your turn. Number 3. Remember, it starts on February 1st with Iowa. We go to New Hampshire. Then we go the following. So 3 weeks. We got 4 weeks to go, and then we have 3 weeks after we start. No matter what's going on in your life, you got to go and vote. Because if you don't, it's not going to happen. Don't sit back and say, oh, Trump's going to do well. The more we can win by, the more power we have in a sense, because it's like a mandate. But you got to go out and vote. And I will tell you this. It's been an honor to be here. I love this area. I love the people here. It's been an honor. But we will make America great again. I promise. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.